This is kind of wild. I don't know if you knew this or not, but NASA just found a new element on another planet. LIGMA. Now with that obligatory A+ joke out of the way for the start of this podcast, I wanted to go ahead and warn y'all that as much as this podcast is, admittedly, mostly sunshine and rainbows, this particular episode will be a little heavier than past episodes. And it's because we're talking about life. We're talking about end goals. And while last episode was, kind of goofy, I've specifically talked about how I want LIGMA to be a show where you can literally ask anything. And so this particular question came from my friend Brennan. I do have a couple questions in the LIGMA email that I am currently holding on to for future episodes. By the way, you can email that email. It's currently on the screen. Any questions that you have at all, and within reason, I will answer them in a LIGMA episode. This is a kind of heavier question, and it's one I have put a good bit of thought into over the last couple years, definitely, but especially in the last probably year total, in the last 12 months, I have put a lot of thought and a lot of prayer into this question. And that question is, what is my end goal with YouTube? Again, Brennan asked this question. I'm sure that some of you will probably have the same question. You may be wondering, what exactly is the end goal? And I have what I think is a good and relatively healthy answer to the question, and that I'm going to answer it in two parts. So the first part of the question is fulfillment-wise, what is my end goal with YouTube? And then there's just simply no way around it. Finance-wise, what is my end goal of YouTube? Because admittedly, YouTube it's very motivating for me to do, but it is especially motivating when there is money involved. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I am a relatively financially minded person. I think about, okay, well, if this were the case, then how much income would I need to sustain this lifestyle or whatever. And lifestyle isn't necessarily the word, but what I'm trying to say is I'm going to answer the question in two parts. So let's get to part number one of the question, which is creative satisfaction wise, what is my end goal on YouTube? In that department, my end goal is a little convoluted, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't have an amazing answer by any means to that question, but I have an answer that I think satisfies my own needs, and that is pretty simple. I want to help as many people as possible while also providing entertainment. I find a lot of comfort and I find a lot of enjoyment in the crash course videos that Hank Green and his brother John Green work on, and just their company in general works on. I want to be able to do stuff like that. I want to provide education isn't even necessarily the right word. I want to be able to help people learn more, if that makes sense. With my movie channel, for example, because for those of you who don't know, I have 3 channels. I have this channel, which is where I do LIGMA and all of my gaming content. I have Timmy Productions, which is where I do my tech reviews, tech tutorials, all sorts of stuff like that. And then I have my movie channel, 1 Minute Movies. My goal across all 3 of those is to provide entertainment while also providing education. And I know that it's a little silly to say, but LIGMA is a really good, really healthy, to me, creative outlet where I can do that. I can basically just get on here and yap extensively about whatever I want to, whatever y'all have questions about. And I'm hoping to not only help y'all, but it is also very, very satisfying to me creatively to help you guys and to make content where I feel like I'm helping. And that's just been something that I've needed to do more and more of recently. It's something that I've been lacking in my content for the last couple years, and it's one of the biggest things that I feel like has been missing from my content. I've been making content pretty much just for myself, and while I need to make content for myself, while I am not by any means trying to say don't make content for yourself, only make what the algorithm wants, there's a very, very fine line, and you kind of have to toe that balance if you want to be happy and not burn out on YouTube, which I feel like for the last, unfortunately, year, I have been admittedly kind of burnt out of YouTube, and that's for a variety of reasons that I'm actually planning on getting into in a future LIGMA podcast, but that is creatively what I want to do. I want to be able to satisfy my own creative, needs while also helping. So that takes place in, to me at least, semi-educational YouTube videos on my movie channel, where I talk about, hopefully encouraging people to think deeper about the movies that I'm watching, hopefully helping people, discover, hey, maybe I didn't think of that theme, or I didn't think that scene in that movie maybe meant that. I just helping people to think deeper. And now I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room, the financial side of things. Financially speaking, my end goal for YouTube is not to become crazy rich. It's not to make $1 million from YouTube or anything like that. It's not to be independently wealthy. It's not to never have to work another day in my life. It's not to be able to take a vacation whenever I want. It's none of that. To me, the financial end goal of YouTube is be able to comfortably not work for a month to 2 months. I'm not saying stress over the algorithm. I'm not saying, go absolutely insane because I'm thinking about YouTube constantly. I'm saying reach a point where YouTube is earning enough money that I can support myself financially, support my business financially, which is YouTube. YouTube is part of my business. It is part of Timmy Productions, LLC. But also to be able to support my family and hopefully a couple of my closest friends' families is also a big part of the goal to me. And that looks different for a lot of different people. Your idea of supporting me financially may be completely different, but I have a number in my head. I'm not going to share that number. I'm not going to disclose that number, but that is the number that I feel like would be able to realistically support me and my family and a couple of my closest friends' families. So that is my very long-winded answer to what is your end goal with YouTube. I hope that you guys enjoyed this LIGMA episode. Take a walk. Honestly, that sounds like a super passive-aggressive way to say leave, but go outside. Spend some more time outside if you're feeling sad recently. I know I have, and going outside and just moving has greatly helped me. So thank you all so much for watching and listening to this episode of LIGMA. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. And again, email the email on the screen right now if you have any questions within reason. I will answer them in the next episode of LIGMA. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all later.